And a very good morning, late tea time podders around the world. This is a flying visit to you this Thursday morning. My grocery shopping is about 10 minutes away, so we need to get this done and dusted before he rings the doorbell. DT, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Up nice and early.
Yeah. And we've got the Valspar to look forward to today, haven't we? The Valspar Championship. I've got the top end of the leaderboard going across the bottom of the screens, and the Chafley, who came so close last week, 15-2. Justin Thomas 14s, Sam Burns 14s, Jordan Spieth 18s, Brian Harman again in contention last week, 22-1. Tony Finau and Cameron Young are 28-1, and the rest are bigger. DT, we leave it as late as possible. We've left it very late this week for you to get your gargantuan golfing brain around the world of golf. Where has that led us to this week?
Yes, I think my theory at the start of the week was that I don't really want to be back in the favourites because it falls a bit funny with this one in the schedule. You've just had Bay Hill and Sawgrass, two big events, massive events, the Arnold Palmer and the Players. And then you've got the Masters coming up in 3 weeks. Hey, so so you kind of caught a little bit, I think, between looking back or feeling the effects of the last 2 weeks and looking ahead of you, one of the elite players. So I didn't really look at those much. So I've come up with a couple of kind of slightly random outsider names. The first one being going down a familiar path of the local guy.
Okay.
We do have one this week.
He was born on the 18th green, was he?
Just about, yes. 17th, actually. He's got a bit of attention this week. And I guess if you've been following the golf closely, you might have picked up on him in the past few weeks. Jimmy Stanger.
Okay.
I think it's Stanger. Pretty sure you don't say Stanger or Stanger. But Jimmy Stanger. So he is a guy who came in for an interview. I thought, why are they interviewing him then? And it turns out he's the absolute local guy. He used to come to this tournament when he was 7 and 8 years old and sort of help do little volunteer, carry placards and stuff. And so he's got all these emotional connections with it, which sometimes can, and he actually said, I dreamt of playing in this tournament. And sometimes maybe that can overwhelm somebody in the fact that he's fulfilling this lifelong dream. But he has actually played in it before when he was an amateur. Played in 2017 and 18. He didn't make the cut in either of those, but shot 71 in round one on the most recent. That was 6 years ago, isn't it? Blimey, 2018 was 6 years ago. Amazing. But he kind of said he just wasn't ready then. It was kind of nice to play in it, but his game wasn't ready. Now he's come through the Corn Ferry Tour. He's looking like a bit of a player now. And if you look at some of his results this season, he's got 14th at the American Express, 38th in Phoenix, 35th at the Cognizant Classic, 3rd in Puerto Rico, which was an excellent effort. And then almost just as impressive, 35th in the Players' Championship. That was a real new sort of ground for him, playing against the real top boys. Closed with a 69 there. So this is a far weaker field than that. So Jimmy Stanger, it's basically pick your market, I think. I think you can look at him in all categories. First round leader, outright, top 10, top 20, that kind of thing.
Well, he's 200-1 best price on the outrights. And obviously the rest of the prices are pretty decent as a result of that as well. So Jimmy Stanger, I'm going to call him Stanger. Stanger.
I found a little clip online where he was put in and someone said, and Jimmy Stanger. So
he's 100-1 with Bet365 to be the first round leader, 200-1, 150-1 to win the thing. So, I mean, he came in from 200-1 to 150-1 just as you were speaking.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, top 20, all those sort of markets. I think he's. It's quite a funny tournament, this one. It is good if you know the course. You sort of tend to play well. That's shown by the last in the last 5 years. Last 5 editions, you've had 2 repeat winners. Paul Casey won this back to back. Sam Burns won it back to back. So I think he must know this course ever so well, Jimmy Stanger. Yeah. So it's a bit of a quirky course. It's a par 71 with 5 par 3s. It's not very typical of Florida. It's more sort of undulating, more kind of between the trees. So yeah, I thought he was an interesting one this week.
He's getting close to my grocery delivery. We play our sponsors advert now, because we are always indebted to the switchwatersupplier.com for their support, their continued support of the podcast. And here is what they do. If you're a business, you can save money on your water.
All golfers want to stay away from the water. That splash as your round sinks beneath the surface is never a good sound. But golf courses rely on water to keep those fairways and greens lush, for that post-round shower or the clean glass at the 19th hole. Golf courses, indeed most businesses, spend way too much money on their water bills. Switch Water Supplier can cut your water costs and help your business save money. Register now at switchwatersupplier.com. They will do all the hard work and get your business the very best price for your water supply and claim money back if you've been overcharged. Switchwatersupplier.com. Switching made simple.
Indeed. Thank you very much to switchwatersupplier.com for their support of the Late Tea Time podcast. While you give your second pick, I might have to leave you alone because my grocery shopping is pretty much entering the street. But I will bring up the graphics back onto the screen for you. But pick number 2, DT.
Okay, I'm going to go with a guy, I don't know if you remember, we picked him out at the Cognizant Classic, Max Grazerman. Do you remember that name?
I do indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
Another one, we're not sure how we would pronounce his name.
Yeah, Grazerman. But he was the local guy again at the Cognizant. He was massive odds at that time. And for a lot of that week, he was in a really nice position. He was... he opened 70-66, shot 69 in round 3. And I thought he's definitely going to land some sort of decent kind of top 20, top 30 here. And he just faded a bit at the end to finish 47th. I think we might have even put him up as a top 40 bet. So I thought he did pretty well there in front of his very home fans.
If I put you on screen on your own, are you able to sort for 4 minutes on this?
I can, yes. Are you going now, are you?
I am, yeah.
Okay. I wonder what he's picked. There he goes. Yeah. What will James have got for his grocery delivery? That's the main topic of debate this week. So, yeah, Max Grazerman. So he did really well in that event at the Cognizant Classic where he'd grown up and had all the family connections. And then he went to Puerto Rico, which was the event held opposite Bay Hill, and finished 15th, which was another good effort. Started with a 65, then went 69, 70, 70. So he's the real confidence boost in the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, last 2 events, at least, Max Grazerman. Putted really well in Puerto Rico. He was 5th for putting average. And then how I get to him this week, I'm combining him with a new feature that they've got on the Tour Tips website. I don't know if any of you use that. I've always used it as my kind of database. They've got a new feature called Tour Tips Probabilities. I mean, I could give you the explanation. It's a little bit complicated. I'll give you the sort of basic theory of it. It says the TT win probability is displayed above are the result of a Monte Carlo simulation of each round of a tournament. So there's that element, and then he comes up with this theory called the Kelly criterion. This is all instructive, isn't it? The Kelly criterion is a measure of the edge of each player's odds. The Kelly criterion calculates the optimal percentage of a bankroll to bet on a player at the best odds. So it's kind of saying how much you should invest on someone who's got an edge compared to their overall chances and the actual odds that they are. So I won't bog you down in too much more of that theory, but basically what it does, it puts a little percentage figure next to some of the players in the field. And Max Grazerman is one of them. So he's basically, his odds are generous to what his true chances are, according to these Monte Carlo simulation and all these numbers that are going on behind the scenes. I'm sure there's some boffins out there who could describe it a bit better. But it's quite interesting that Max Grazerman has got so he's a Florida boy. He's got this Tour Tips probabilities edge. And I'm mentioning it because they are logging the results quite detailed, and they are showing a really good profit on this market. In the Players' Championship, they had a lot of success on the top 20 market. I think Maverick McNeely was highlighted as one where his true odds were far different to what his actual odds were, and he played really nicely, didn't he? Did he finish 9th, I think? And so he could have had top 10 as well, but his top 20 odds were really generous according to these calculations. So it is working. I think you end up maybe backing quite a few each week, but if you take them all, but I'm just going to strip it down to Max Grazeman this week to add to his credentials anyway, which, as I say, were that good performance at the Cognizant Classic, 47th and 15th in Puerto Rico, where he was top 5 for putting average. At the Cognizant, just looking at some of his numbers, he was pretty hot short game. He was 10th around the green. So he's a guy who's done quite well in recent events, got a decent little record in Florida, at the Suncoast Classic as well on the Corn Ferry. So he's an outsider. James was the one with the odds.
He's best price at 200 to 1.
Okay, so I was looking at a load of numbers. I didn't see a reappear. So
200 to 125 to 1, somewhere in that region, depending on the places.
Yeah, so I'd back him definitely top 20 and stuff like that. First round leader, all the kind of markets that you can. So it's two kind of strange names to go with, almost literally strange name with Stange names. So Jimmy Stanger and Max Graceman, two players who probably new on the radar, but you played them in these side markets. I think there's scope for some kind of unusual returns there, because so they're not the big guys, are they? And I think this is a week to be looking to the margins. So hopefully, fingers crossed. So
Grazeman and Stanger, the picks that go onto the Late Tea Time podcast betting slip this week. My driver, the grocery driver, can't find my front door. So I've come back, so didn't leave you alone, to say goodbye to everybody, basically, because I need to go and help him now find my front door to bring my groceries in. But DT, as always, thank you very much for your thoughts and insights into the golf this coming week. Gamble responsibly, everybody. This has been a Sports Broadcast Media production, and we'll see you around about the same time next week. Me and DT always back with you either a Wednesday or a Thursday as we go through the golf season. So be good to see you again next week. Good luck with all your bets. Gamble responsibly, and we will see you then. Cheers, everybody.
Always gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information.